Get ready, Tweety. 3, 2.
Hi, you guys. Ginger Cook here. This is Acrylic Painting Monday, but even more than that, this is what we're going to call a birdathon, where we're going to paint a couple.
Birdathon.
A birdathon. You heard of the bird hop? Or last year we did some bird hops. We hopped back and forth between the Art Sherpa and me. Today the Art Sherpa is not available to hop with, so we're just going to have a birdathon. And instead of just doing one bird, we're going to do 2. How fun is that? And this will be, we'll have some great giveaways, maybe do some quick little paintings that somebody can win. And as we're painting along, we're going to talk about how to paint pairs of things, you know, like, for instance, 2 paintings of the same subject that are meant to hang together as opposed to the pair of fruit, that kind of thing, right? So why don't we just get started? And,
yeah, why don't we?
You'll notice we have a brand new neat desk here. Look at that. It doesn't even look like the same studio, does it? We'll see if we can keep it that way, but
yeah, at least through the night.
Great intentions, yes and yes. And these are little 6x6 canvases, which is how we've done all our little bird hop pictures. And I just used Sorel paper to trace this first one on. I'll show you how you do that. You just basically line your drawing up like that. You could tape it down. Something this small, I don't think we even need to. But I'm just going to make sure that your corners are straight here like that. Okay, and I'm just going to go over it. This yellow doesn't transfer paper. This is the Sorel. Is not as efficient as some of the others on this particular painting surface. How's that? That's the disqualifier.
Well, yeah, some paints really
don't like the Sorel as well as others.
Yeah.
Remember what you used with this? What you
used? That was Golden's phthalo green, yellow shade, which was purchased by mistake, burnt umber, and a touch of white. If you watch our YouTube short, you can see me do it.
Yeah, so you can see where John has been painting these. All right, and
the shorts are only stay up for about 7 days and then they disappear. Never did a short. That's the first short we've done. Let us know what you think.
All right, so basically that's what we've got is this bird here. See, and again, when I say see, I can see you can barely see it. So what we're going to do is we're just going to go ahead and use some white chalk here and make sure we keep the shape on here like that. Just a few little things so that we have we know everything goes, all right? So that's, just do something like that. So, and we will have these traceables up for you on our website tomorrow. Yes and yes? Now, as long as I'm doing it, I want to take one of the little small canvases I've got. Let's just take something interesting. Let's do, ooh, that's a pretty background, isn't it?
Ooh, that's gorgeous.
Let's take that. Let's trace one on there too. How about that? Let's trace. Let's do this one. We'll trace this one on there too. As long as we're just doing stuff, right?
Might as well.
You know, I mean, because we'll give this one away. Someone will win this tonight. Those of you who are.
What? I mean, a give it. What? A freebie?
Yeah.
I love freebies.
Someone's going to win this one. So, and then the other 2 will be available in our auction coming up.
That starts next Monday.
Starting next Monday.
On our second bird hop. I'm going to have a second bird hop. I should have given you a second color of pen so you would know where you've been. I apologize for that.
All right.
I could be fired.
Well, you really don't see this yellow at all, do you? And this is over a hard surface. It could be the Sorel paper. I have it the correct side down, but well, of course, I was going over something yellow. You see that? So right at a yellow spot. Well, all right, let's just, that's not very satisfactory. I'll tell you what, let's do. Let's just turn him upside down. I don't really care what's what where, right?
What's where? What do you mean? That's a great background.
Yeah, but I've just got to turn him upside down so that I don't run into the yellow.
Oh.
All right, does that make sense?
Sure.
You know, because again, this was just sort of a multicolored background, and we want to do that like that. I'll pen color so I know where I've been, as John put it. Of course, I know where I've been. I was upstairs and downstairs today, and
Ooh,
all
look at
kinds
you.
of stuff
You've been
where I've
hanging
been.
around me too much.
But there you go. All right, so kind of line that up. Here we go. It's a pretty simple shape. I think we probably could have just freehanded these in, but you know, just to make it easier. Yeah. Okay. How's that? Can you see it?
No.
Well, boy, you can't see it, can you?
Okay, can you see it so you can go over it?
Well, I think it was right here.
We're calling this one a bird sit-in. This is our first bird sit-in. We'll have another one next week.
All right, so there's our bird, okay, on this one. And I think I've got the shape there. Not really. Here, more like this. If you think about half of his head is where the beak starts. If you were just getting a little persnickety here, and then this curves, and let's just make him. I like fat birds. All right, so this will be one we're giving away. And
right there it is, ready to go.
So we just won't give this any more consideration than that, because that's pretty easy.
Easy
Yeah,
peasy.
let's take our let's go over the colors in our.
Why does Ginger encourage practicing circles besides the obvious making proper circles? Is there any other advantage?
Well,
It loosens your arm and shoulder.
well, you're supposed to be painting from your shoulder, not your wrist. And most people have this finger down so tight on their brush that they can't draw in easily. But if it's loose like this and you're drawing from your shoulder, then so you can draw easier. That's why, you know. Besides, then you practice ovals so that you can see them. So circles so that you can, paint easier, and ovals so you can draw them. So here's our colors here. There's our color chart. And
move the chart itself to the left a little bit.
This way?
Yeah, that's the left.
All right, so we have this is like a marigold. This is a cad orange. This is a cad orange light and a cad red. Phthalo blue, ultramarine blue, zinc white, titanium white. Here's your phthalo green.
That's the proper one.
And then that's what phthalo green looks like with white, which is be very pretty on these birds. Yellow oxide, cad yellow medium, and cad yellow light. And if you haven't made yourself a color chart like this, these are pretty much consider that these will be the colors we'll be using in our tutorials, both in the Academy and on YouTube.
This covers 99% of them.
And occasionally might throw in an extra, but that's pretty much it. So if you haven't made a color chart like this, we suggest if you're watching this later, just sit down and quick like a bunny, get out your colors and and make one, right? You can freeze the frame here. All right, so now...
Wait, here's a question. When will you release the painting with the boat that you hinted on a few weeks ago? Is that Kim's boat?
Oh,
That's
the one
what we had, isn't it?
Yeah, Kim's boat, the one with the flowers, yeah.
Yeah,
yeah, it'll be later
sometime soon.
Sometime soon. We got a bunch of new stuff.
We are so screwed up on our schedule.
All right, so here's our two birds. Now here's what I want to share with you. When you're doing what we call a pair of paintings, right? And it's very nice. For instance, if you have two paintings that go together, it would be good. See, we have one bird facing this way and one that way, so that we don't have them both looking out. You want them kind of looking together, okay? You want to paint them, here's the key, you want to paint them at the same time. And the reason you want to do that is because your palette will be then consistent. And you can even kind of put them together so that when you go across and start doing a background, they all flow. That's really important. So if you're doing two, for instance, maybe Eric out there does some large paintings, you may have to take some tape and tape them together on the back to get them to kind of hang in there on your easel, but you really want them to be together when you paint them, all right? And in this case, I think we're pretty close. So again, we have the colors, and in order to make this fun and easy, what I'm going to do is I'm going to just take a smaller brush here. What do we got here? Because this is a pretty little canvas. And I think I'll just take one like this. This is a 3/8 inch Bristol on. And one of the things we're going to be releasing the following week, not this week's one, but the following week, we're releasing an over an hour video on all the different brushes and what they do and why you should have them or don't need them. And that's a tutorial for our Orange members and above. Everyone will get that one if you're an Academy member, because your brushes really make a difference. I see it all the time in personal art coaching, where I'll ask people, what brushes are you using? And I'm amazed that they get anything with the brushes they're using, because some of these brushes, it would be almost like trying to paint with your left hand. They're so not designed for acrylic paint, okay? So Bristol-ons they're made by the Silver Brush Company. We've been talking to our friends at the Brush Guys, and we're going to redo the website that we've got up there, because these brushes aren't on the website yet. John and I are just, miles behind on a lot of stuff. But you can, regardless of any brush you buy on their website, thebrushguys.com, if you use my name, Ginger Cook, all one word, you get 5% discount. And the reason we like them is one, they have very good prices, and two, I mentioned them because they ship globally. And it's a flat fee of 20. He hasn't raised the price in a couple of years. Since I've known the Brush Guys, probably more than that, more about 4. It's $25 to ship internationally, and $24.95.
And I think it's $17.95. I think it's $17.95.
$75.95 to Canada. So
it's in the newsletter. It's in your Gazette.
It's in the Gazette. You can read all about it. All right. So let's take these two. Let's take this, and I love phthalo green, and I'm taking a little bit of titanium white, and I'm going to come up here and I'm going to just put that next to this bird here. All right, and I might remember I'm going to paint the sides too, because you want to be able to see this. These are nice; they can stand on a table or whatever. You paint the top, paint all the way around like that. Here's some phthalo green. And then here's some phthalo green, a little bit of yellow oxide. That's pretty. Okay. And maybe I'll take some white, phthalo blue, and phthalo green. Try that. That's a pretty color. Maybe put a little of that over there. If I'm doing that, then I'll put a little bit of that same color here. See what I mean? What I'm doing? So what I want to do, there's a little bit of cad yellow light, which kind of, I have blue on the brush, it kind of makes it green. So I might do something like that. Bring it across, all right? So these backgrounds, now don't get too stressed about how I made it or didn't make it or whatever I did here. A little bit of yellow and phthalo green and yellow oxide. Phthalo green here. Don't get too enamored with how I'm doing this, in the sense that you've got a lot of freedom with this yourself on how you might want to paint these birds in. Just remember, wherever there's a light, there's a dark, so you might want something lighter underneath the bird so that it shows up. Here's a little white. See? I want something a little lighter. And maybe something a little lighter here. Not to say I might not darken it later, but let's just do this as I'm doing it. So as I'm painting this in, kind of doing this, and then I'll think, as long as I'm doing that, I'll do some sort of fun colors here too, as we're doing this. A little blue and yellow. Okay, we'll just keep painting and answering questions as we go. What do you think, John?
I think it's great idea. Question came up, has anybody heard from Alicia Hugh? I can't find her on Facebook. Got a message from her around first of the year. I haven't heard from her since. When's the last time you talked to her?
I haven't talked to her in over a year.
They were in a pretty strict lockdown, weren't they?
Yeah. There's a little bit of ultramarine blue. Right now I'm just trying to get a few colors in here that I can kind of melt together. something that's just sort of interesting. And again, I want to paint the sides where I can. And you want to make sure you have a coat of paint on here anyway. Don't just do this on white.
Oh, goodness, no. It's all about layers, folks.
So who's here? Well, I know that Judy's been under the weather with she's not feeling good at all. So we want to wish
Liz 1 and Liz 2.
So
Luann, Lynn, and Steffi.
Okay, and I want to just say that if you guys notice that our moderators are here every week.
24/7.
And they're here all the time, and they're so nice and supportive and make comments. And if you're in part of our Facebook club, they're the first ones to comment on your artwork when you post it and say something encouraging. And tonight we're going to be showing.
Oh yeah,
we're going to be showing some of the artwork of our Facebook club members. Whether you're an Academy member or not, you might we might have picked your artwork to be shown. And we didn't try to say, okay, I'm picking these because I think these are the best ones and anybody ever put on here. We just picked it because you participated, and we like that you did. And if we didn't pick you,
we like participation.
If we just sort of picked a few, and if we didn't pick you, well, maybe next time you'll get picked. We just sort of randomly are picking stuff, right? So I don't want anybody's feelings to get hurt if you say, oh, well, she never picks me. Well, we want to be encouraging to people that are painting with us, and taking the time to share their stuff in the club. That's kind of brave, because you put your stuff out there, and then what if people don't like it and they don't say anything and you're the only one without a comment? I have never seen anybody post anything they didn't get a comment. Our mods are always there to comment and say something encouraging, and maybe the first ones, but we have a whole group of people that are so supportive of each other. I mean, it's heartwarming, isn't it, John?
Yes, it is.
The people really...
It's a great group.
It's a great group, isn't it?
It's a great, safe group.
So there's that background, and let's just keep doing on this one. So that's the kind of thing that, that makes a difference. And I'm always so pleased to see the progress that people make, because it's huge.
That's the funnest part.
Yeah. Let's see. Let's try something a little bit different here. This has had a chance to dry, so I can do something like this. Whatever you do, just try to get it where you're the paint seems to want to flow for you. That's what I would tell you. There's some phthalo green and a little bit of cad yellow light. I'll mix that up there. Ooh, that's a pretty color, isn't it?
Ooh, that is a pretty color.
Where could this go? Over here, maybe. Maybe down here. So, again, well, when do you know when to stop? I don't know, when it sort of looks good.
No. A year later, we'll come back to a painting, and, I've been thinking about this, and a change will be made.
Yeah, it could be too.
Could be. We just did one.
Yeah, well, every once in a while I'll see something, and I'll go back, and sometimes I find myself wanting to do a pack for somebody. I realize I'm doing a pack on myself, or I did something, and I'm going, how on earth would you have done that? That doesn't look all that great. What's the deal with that? So again, here we go. I'm just going to paint some of the sides here, some colors. Ooh, how about this side? It's a little bit, we get your fingers dirty a little bit here. A little phthalo green. phthalo blue.
My paint never looks like it's going on as smoothly as Ginger's. I guess that's a question. How do I put it?
It could be your. It could be. It could be your brush. Are you using a Bristol on brush?
Could be your paint.
Could be your paint.
We are using a Stay Wet palette. We use Holbein and Golden, and Bristol on brushes.
Good. All right.
We use paint and not water. Lots of
then
paint.
Probably I'm using a little bit more paint. A lot of times it depends on how hard you're pressing too, right?
Yep, that too.
You know, your pressure.
But you need a good brush to push it. You got to plow through the paint.
Yeah.
And some soft bristles won't do that. That's for a different technique.
Yeah.
A different stroke.
So,
you still sell week memberships? Yes, they're called the Pink Member. $14.95.
There we go. You're going to want to at least become an orange member to see that one on the brushes, because I feel like that will be such a
benefit
to have that. See how we're just painting this. I'm kind of using up my extra paint here. Haven't wet my brush yet because the Stay Wet palette's pretty wet. Let's take a little bit of this yellow, a little phthalo blue. There. Now we feel like the bird is in our jungle, yes?
Yes.
This is surrounded in our jungle. Let's put these up there, like so. And let's play with this one for a minute. I like some of those softer blue colors. That's pretty. The kind of a combination of the dark and the light is what you want. Oftentimes you'll see me darken corners because when you do that, you force the eye in toward the subject. Okay? So that can be a very handy thing to do. It's a little zinc white here. Now, if I have a color I want to change and I don't want to rinse the brush, one thing I can do is I can just take a towel and wipe it off like that. Just pinch it off and maybe come back and add a little bit more light here.
If titanium ore has magnetic properties, do the titanium paints contain magnetic elements?
I don't know.
It's a good question.
Ask
My guess
Google.
would be probably no. Take a magnet and see if it sticks to your painting. I don't have anything over here with me to do that.
Okay, so I've got the...
You got another jungle going.
Got a little jungle going, yes, and even up here, maybe. I'm going to rinse the brush now. And I like this sort of marigold orange color here. Maybe with a little zinc white. That's a little strong. There, okay. So I've got 3 fun backgrounds that are good. I'll just let this one kind of set aside here for a minute. And I want to say hi to to our moderators who are here and have taken the time to hang out with us. So it's just we've got some global people around the world that watch us. Janny in India, Janny and Lynn in Canada. We have a lot of Canadians. We have friends in Australia. We've got people in Europe, and we appreciate the fact you tune in. We got Andrew in Haiti. This is really nice to have such global participation in what we do, and I like it a lot. And I want to thank everybody that is watching and hangs in there with us. If you're new to the channel and you haven't had a chance to watch us, you might take a moment and just subscribe. And
about 1,000 short from our 100,000.
yeah, and that would be a lovely thing to do. We're going to paint our bird white.
I like a white bird. It'd be a dove.
Because the thing about it is your brightest colors are on something white. It's where your brightest colors are going to show up. Good. So John's still trying to figure out why we're not broadcasting on YouTube. That's dry enough to give it a second coat. Then I'll probably need to use a hairdryer to make sure. Well, do you want to make a note that I'm going to dry this right here?
I'll find it.
Huh?
I can find it.
Any reason? Do we need to start again or no?
If we start again, it's a whole different feed. Everything's different.
Yeah.
No, we're back again. Just came back on.
Okay, well, the only thing that happened while you were gone
I painted white.
was I painted all the birds white. Now I'm going to dry them. John's going to show you some stuff while I do that.
Yeah, let's have John do that.
Can John do that?
John can do anything.
Yeah, John. We don't know why we disappeared, but we're back. Is there going to be a gap?
Can you hear us? Can you hear us over what? No, there's not going to be a gap. Well, it could be on the live. We may have to put this one up there instead of the live.
Can you hear us?
Yes. PJ says they can hear us.
All right, so I'm going to go ahead and, now you won't be able to hear me because I'm going to go ahead and dry these.
Well, I'm going to mute you then.
Yeah, John's going to mute me and he's going to show you some stuff. Ha!
Okay, you're gone. Okay, first one up is from our lilies that we did last week. And on YouTube, this is from Barbara. And she ended up doing hers on a long skinny canvas, a 2-to-1 ratio canvas. And we really like how that came out. Next, this is really interesting here. Let's take a look at this one. This one was done by Diane. And the sponge work on that is just stunning, as the queen would say. And that's the only two I've got. Those only two I've got over here so far to share with you at the moment. And the queen's already done. So let's bring her back.
Am I back?
Well, no. You are now.
All right, you guys, don't you love those? I mean, they look almost like
of them.
they're almost like pointillism when you use the sponge. That was last week's video on YouTube. If you haven't watched that and tried that, that is the funnest technique ever. And did you show Barbara's yet?
I did Barbara's and Diane's.
Yeah, Barbara did a long one. She did a 12 by 24, and it really looks good as a long canvas too. So these are great, even if you do them larger. They're super nice. So I'm very encouraged by those, and I'm so excited to see what you all have done with them. All right, so we've painted the birds white, and let's we're gonna work on this little birdie here first, okay? And one of the things I want to have is the cad yellow light on top of his head right here like that. And then this coming around like that. There you go. So we're just going to make that that cad yellow light color. And let's try a little cad yellow medium up toward the top. If you didn't have cad yellow light, cad yellow medium looks like it's working pretty well too. We just want a bright bright yellow, okay, for his head. And then on the other one has a little bit of this yellow first, right here. It's gonna be orange, but I'm gonna put yellow there first. And then I'm going to take some yellow, this cad yellow light color. I'm going to put it on his tummy. And I'll show you the difference. I won't do it on the other one. And we'll see if it makes much. I think it'll make a difference. But it may not, but we'll see, all right? So I'll show you the difference between doing that and then just taking a brush and taking, say, cadmium orange, coming up here with a little bit of a color, and say cadmium red light, and doing that. So that's the color I want here on this part of the tummy. Just do something about like that up here on his chest. Now here's the trick. When you're painting things, flowers or birds or butterflies, it doesn't really matter. When you start mixing reds and greens and stuff like that, you end up with muddy colors. So you want to make sure that your brush is very clean before you get too far along on your process of that. I know I want a little bit of this red right here like that, so I can do that. But I will let this yellow dry, this red dry, and just do something else, all right? So that's one of the things you can do, is kind of switch back and forth, have different brushes. Never hurts. It's nice to have more than one brush for that reason, for your dark and lighter colors. I want a turquoise blue color right here on his chest. And as long as then that's just phthalo blue and white. And I want that color right here too. Because that's over the white and that's really pretty. We're going to put some, probably some dark over it here. Just do a little bit something darker right here, right in there like that. Okay, on this one. And there's a method to the reason why we're doing it this way. Okay. So I don't think I have any blue on the other bird. Well, I do actually. I have a beautiful purple color, and I think I can sneak that in here. So what I would want is magenta. Did I put magenta out? Yeah, magenta and white. And I would say that the top of this bird is going to have this magenta color up here where his wings start. Notice how I twist the brush when I'm doing this. Okay. What about the contest, John? How do they enter?
The form was moderators have put out a link out there. Please make sure you
going to enter to win this particular little one here, and of course the other two will be for sale during
the auction next week.
Auction.
We'll have all 4 of the birds will be up for auction next week.
We'll do 2 more birds next Monday, and then we'll have 4 birds in our auction.
Plus other
stuff, all kinds of neat stuff. It will be in the auction.
Our house is overflowing with paintings.
So we're just gonna put a little bit of blue right here. Right, like so. See that? All right, and let's put a little blue right there on this one. Okay. So that's good. You're doing all these at once. Now, flipping back over to this bird.
Are all the angle brushes from Bristol Line short-handled?
I don't know, but I
Yes,
like
they are.
I think they are, yeah.
Yeah, the angles are all short handled. Filberts, I think, can get both long and short. That was our
And
other
it's
question.
good to have a bright brush too. You don't want just angles. A good bright brush is important to have, particularly if you're doing larger paintings. A bright brush is one more like this, squared off, but not real long, but kind of almost square, and it has a good edge on it. It's called a
That'd
bright
be a
brush.
bright brush, yep.
It's good to have one of those. All right. So, fun, right? What do we got here? I've got a little bit of this white color here that's going to go here like this. I guess I want a little bit of blue here, like that I didn't put. Like that. There you go. All right. Now maybe something like that over the top of this wing, like that. Okay. Now what I can do when I'm waiting for all this stuff to dry on the birds is I can do a little more of the background. Yeah. So I might take a little bit of burnt umber and yellow oxide, and I might just come up here like this and say, well, here's a branch like that. Now what happens is you want to bring the branch, just keep it going, okay, on the side. Just I want it kind of knobby, so I'm just sort of tapping it in there, okay. And I know I've got this branch coming underneath this bird, kind of like this. There's got a little bit of a knob down here, okay, like that. So there's my branch.
You keep going on the bottom with that?
Well, I could go around on the bottom if you wanted to. You certainly could go around on the bottom and just keep going. It just depends where you're going to hang it. If it's going to sit on a table, then you wouldn't need to do that. But if you were hanging
if you
it
hang
on
it, though, and
a
you
wall,
want
it
to
might be nice to have it. Yeah. So,
is there a photo of the bird, or are we just making up the bird? No, we have photos of the bird, but they are copyrighted.
no,
and
we can't show them. We're not allowed to show them. We
Yeah.
have the right to teach them, but we don't have the right to show them too. Sorry.
Yeah, we can't share the actual photos with you.
Nope.
So
So
we'll be basing your colors and things off of what Ginger's doing, and the traceables are from the actual photo.
it's a little
The
bit of.
photographer was very willing to, we had to buy the rights for him just to do what we're doing. They said, do not share the photos. I mean, that's how he makes a living. And we certainly can respect that.
A little bit of a leaf back there. Yeah, I actually have reference photos. And we've changed them a little, too. I've changed them a little bit from exactly what he had.
Yeah.
I've kept the birds the same colors and everything, but I've changed a lot of other stuff. So here's some yellow. And I'll put a little bit of ultramarine blue with that. Make that kind of a... There you go. Have just a little bit of an olive green. And I'm just going to tap that on here like this. Just suggest some moss. Maybe something a little greener. You can always put a little red and green to gray it. You need a little bit more mossy-like. Something like that. Start with that. And again, you can just keep it going all the way around. I hope you guys, if you didn't participate in last year's bird hop, I hope you did, because Cinnamon and I, we all did different birds, but they were a lot of fun. And I hope you guys had fun doing them. There you go. Okay.
Yeah, it was last September we did them.
So, now I'm going to just A little bit more of this green here and kind of break up this color a little bit. And let's put these together for the sense that I think I want this branch. I want a branch for this one, even though the original photograph didn't have much of a branch. I feel like we need some sort of branch maybe coming up this way, even if it's just we'll just bring it down underneath here like this. See, we want, and then you want to make sure that you've got some branches kind of going back this way, because you want them to bring that, any time you do something like this, it's a line. And then what's even more effective is if you can do something like this. If you could say that there was a branch that came this way, and you just did something like that, so that you connected the pictures. Does that make sense?
Yes.
And so that's one thing you can do, and then of course you can bring it around here on the bottom too, right? And okay, so all right, and I would do the same thing with these, this tree. Imply moss. Okay, something like that. Yes and yes.
There's some good looking birds.
Well, this is it's an interesting thing about stuff like this. It's just let's see, a little bit of phthalo, ultramarine blue and phthalo. I want to suggest some leaves. Just something like that. And a lot of it, you'll see me do stuff, is that I'm waiting for things to dry. Okay. So now, while those are drying, we can do something with this bird. I think we'll use a bigger brush.
You probably need some to sit on too.
Well, I think you could, but I don't know that you'll have the same little advantages of these two. Perhaps you'll have something more. Let's do something a little redder. Maybe that's his bird, or let's see. Oops. Well, just what should we do with him? Because I want him a little different. So I'm gonna bring that one up here. We're gonna eliminate you. I don't like that. All right, so we're going to say that branch is coming out of that way. Now, there's this thing about lights and darks. Remember, we talk about this a lot, but when you're talking about a painting like this, see, I really like that phthalo green color in lights and darks here. Let me just wipe the brush off and get some more of that light phthalo. That phthalo green color is nice. Okay, so that is mixing with this, which is not dry. Let's try that again. I want to imply that there's something here. Just get some background going before we get too far on the birds. Let's play with this for a little bit and see what we get. I think on this one, I almost want a branch coming down this way.
Does Ginger have a photo? Wait a minute. Does Ginger have a video to help you paint a photo you've taken?
Using what?
I don't know. PJ, what are you asking? That's a strange question. Do you have a video to help you paint a photo you have taken? Not sure.
We don't know. Do we have a video like that, John?
Sure.
I give up. Do we have one?
I don't really have an answer. No, I don't know. I'm not sure I understand the question.
So I'm trying to get some more light in here in this picture. Okay, so I'm going to leave that one alone for a minute. Keep working on the birds. All right, yes and yes, working on birds. See? All right, so let's play with the birds a little more now, because everybody's had a chance to dry. This is one of the times when we would use black. I've got some somewhere too.
Yeah, you have a drawer full of them.
Yeah, we've got
some organized.
We have some Mars black that we might want to use. I'll put it way up here in the corner. All right, so first off, I want a little bit of this orange that's going to go up here on this bird, up here in his head, right? And look how bright that is because it went over yellow. Okay, and I know I want this bird to be, this cat orange. I know I want him to be brighter, and that's a little bit brighter than just the cad red by itself. Just notice that it's a little bit brighter, say this. So sometimes, you know, that's one of the things you sort of got from this, I hope, today, was the advantages of painting your lighter colors and then drawing them and then letting if you need a bright color, letting it go over, because that's really important, whether you're talking about flowers or whatever it is you're talking about. So we know we want a little bit of orange on this little guy right here. Okay. Here's a little bit of red. Let's put some red right here. That's just naphtha crimson. All right. Now, to me, what made this particular bird pretty was the colors in it. Let's see, we need white. Uh, okay, so we've used all our good white up in mixing colors, so let's get some white going here. What I want on this bird is some beautiful teal colors. So I'm going to take some magenta and ultramarine blue and start mixing colors on here like that, layering over this bird. And maybe some deeper magenta, like something a little bit deeper back up in here. We don't really even need to use any black on this. We're just suggesting that this bird has some beautiful, absolutely beautiful colors coming up this way and very purpley. I'm at a loss where that would be. And then something pretty dark here. Not black, just ultramarine blue and magenta. Okay. So those are, I haven't got all the colors in that, but that bird had some beautiful colors. And I'm going to go ahead and put those in this bird now too. Just to get that magenta color going. Just now you could use dazzling purple too. That'd be another color that you could use. But make sure that you don't have orange on your brush when you're doing that, right? And let's just take the top of his head. And this brush is really too big for that. So this is where we talk about using the right size brushes for the job. So
Always a good idea.
This came this way like that. And even though this is a soft brush, it'll give me enough detail potential so that I can get these colors. And you wouldn't get this color otherwise if you weren't doing this over something light. Like if you try to do this over the green background, you wouldn't have gotten it. Okay. So I mean that's kind of important too. It's just when you use your colors. Now, and remember, you can put some white back if you need to have other areas that you need to brighten up. Look at that beautiful blue next to that turquoise, or that turquoisey blue next to that purple, and next to the orange.
Hey, we'd like to thank Sharon for the donation that came in through PayPal. And also Cheryl. Thank you, ladies. I believe I have one more in here. I do indeed. And one from Sally.
Oh, thank you guys.
Thank
I very much
ladies.
appreciate your support. Appreciate it very much. And I'm going to square off the top of his head a little bit now. And do it on this one. So if I were going to do this bird larger, which the whole idea of these bird hop was to do it, you know, to make kind of just fit in these little squares, so they went with all the other stuff. But so I might come under here like this and emphasize where his beak is by just lightening up the color here. Remember, this is acrylics, it's not watercolors, so you can come back and add some lighter colors if you need to, right? You need to come back and say, I need something lighter in here, or lighter here, or greener here, or not green there, or, right? You've got some choices about how you want to do it. And yellow and phthalo green are kind of nice because I can have a nice, for instance, maybe a brighter green down in here, or a little bit brighter green right over here. Okay. Now, let's take a little bit of this darker color and get the top of his head right here, like that. And his eye was it's gonna get a black dot in it. Birds' eyes are round. Did you guys know that? Just saying. Let's let that sit there for a while. So, bird's eyes are round. This bird's kind of looking this way. The top of his head is a little bit squarer than I have it. But I would really suggest and strongly suggest that you consider, you know, finding some pretty bird photos and saying, you know, what could I do? How could I paint those? What could I do that would make those neat and interesting? Here's a little bit of that lighter color now again on the bird. And now, if you're in orange and you're going back to turquoise, what do? You come back here and you rinse your brush. Make sure that it doesn't have any orange on it when you're painting with it, and that your orange is dry. And there's some ultramarine blue on this bird too. And there was some phthalo. And maybe I'll put a little black now. Let's take a little black and just put it on his chest right here. A little bit over the top here on where his head is. A little bit of black right here. And
You got some fantastic colors in that little birdie.
doesn't this bird have beautiful colors? Just does, doesn't he? That's really, really, I think, really pretty colors. And a little bit of an eye here. Now, if we can do a little more to the feathers, but I want to just kind of hold off on that until this dries. That would be the best deal here, is just hold off on that one until it dries, and maybe do something else to the picture. So kind of round him up a little more. All right, so let's leave that one set for a minute, okay? Not done yet, but we're getting there, you know. So let's do this one. And again, we've got some purples coming here on top of this. That's going back this way.
John, do you lightly sand the sides on the gallery wrap? Absolutely. If you watch our little short, I do all 5 sides.
He does.
So you can tell the difference.
Now, this was interesting in that this is a, the bottom part of this bird is light yellow. And goes into greens up into here. And then it goes into some sort of whites this way, like that. And when it gets into the blacks, there's a little leg that's coming out here like this. So there he is, kind of clutching onto that little branch for dear life, right? So we like that, yes? And I want something a little darker. I want something a little darker up in here. Take a phthalo blue and green. And maybe make a bigger some yellow with it. Now that I've seen it, you see what I mean? Now, this is the trick here. Now that I've seen it, I know that I wanted something a little lighter there, but maybe not here. And then suddenly these together, they make sort of an interesting painting, don't they? Kind of blend that out, right? And what do I got? I've got something dark under here with that branch, so this has to be lighter, yes? This could be a lighter green, doesn't have to be necessarily that, right? Lighter green. But whatever we're doing, they all look like, I want these guys to look like they go together. And a brush like this is beautiful for that because you can just push it and twist it. Push it and twist it and get
It's a
some pretty
perfect
good
leaf.
pretty good leaf shapes just by doing that, right? There you
To
go.
find the YouTube shorts, apparently if you go to Ginger's channel on YouTube and go to her videos, it'll be the first one listed there right now. Shorts only last for about 7 days and then they're removed.
Okay. So now I'm starting to feel like we've got,
It's going to get a painting.
we're starting to get a painting together with the two of them. Yes? And that's what's sort of neat about something like this, yeah. So what would I say about, we'll play with this one at the end, you know, we'll bring that one together at the end, 'cause it's a hot mess now, but we'll bring that together at the end to win that. But let's, again, I like the feel of this, and I would bring that over the top like that. If I can. And down the sides. And this is good practice too, because I'll tell you why this is good practice. You're going, really? Why? Why do you say that? Because it's a little bit freeing. It doesn't have to be so perfect. Yes? So if it wasn't perfect, what would that look like? You didn't have to have it so perfect. What would that be, right? To, you know, for your picture. You know, so that can be, and then it's just something happy to look at. You know, we're not going for realism here. We're going for impressionistic, sort of fun bird hop birds. And
These two birds will probably be offered in the auction as a pair. They will go together because they're a triptych or a what is it called when they're two?
They're diptychs.
Diptych. So these guys will be going together, and the other two will be going together more than likely. She hasn't fully designed them yet, so we don't know. Only the queen knows for sure. And seeing how it's not next Monday yet, I bet she doesn't know yet.
Not so much.
You certainly don't want to rush anything. We also have prints available like we did last time. More information will be available next week on that. For those of you that have been collecting the birds, we'll have a couple more for you. And next week we'll have the official name for these guys because I don't have that at my fingertips right now. They're on another computer in another space. And these aren't the sock folder type variety of paintings. This is for the loosey-gooseys. Get you looser. Let you experience some real impressionistic paintings. Sides are pretty. Great color. What is John's favorite bird? One that fly and don't poop on me. I'm not much of a bird. Whether they're horticulturist?
Horticulturist, I think.
Yeah, I'm not much of a bird person.
Okay, so you can see how we've sort of got these together now, right? And just they're sitting here together. Now let's see. Let's work on this bird a little bit more. I'm going to take my Posca pen You know, I'm gonna really shake that up here. I actually have the thing is I'm looking at my reference photo, and I want to come under here with the beak. Make his head a little bigger. There we go. As long as we're doing it, right?
You didn't bring out any other blues, did you? Just using your normal blues?
Yeah, just phthalo blue and ultramarine blue. That's all we did. As long as we're doing a pen.
Ooh, now he's scary looking.
Okay. So now, all right, now we're just, let's see, what else could we do? Let's see. Sometimes when you're doing something small, you need a little small brush here. All right, so I'm gonna just let's see. Where did I put that cad yellow light? That go. Well, we'll just put some white with this. There we go. White and yellow. Okay, there's that bird. Now, because there's, do you see the dark bird here? And there's this, you don't want this yellow here. So I would probably take some of this branch right here, put it next to him so that he'd show up. See what I mean? That's the kind of thing you want to be able to come back and do is, you know, add your contrast where you need to have it. Okay, that kind of thing. Now, what I'm looking at, let's leave that bird for alone for a minute. Let's look at this one. And I feel like we don't have enough chest on him right here like this. We're going to enlarge him a little bit. And then enlarge this a little bit. There you go. So it's got this red on here. And I want some light purple on the top of his head. Okay. And I think I want a little bit more of this sort of turquoise blue here. Let's see, maybe phthalo blue and phthalo green and white ought to make us a pretty decent turquoise. because that wasn't as bright as I wanted it. That's the one thing about birds. You know, the Aztecs in, in South America, they would take bird feathers and make flags and everything, and decorations and paintings, and they'd take a single tiny little pin from it, like a little, almost like as thin as a hair, and they'd somehow fasten all those together, and they'd make these beautiful tapestries and paintings. And all right, so let's just bring this up a little higher here. There you go. Let's bring this wing out a little more. Okay, so see, he's coming together now. And I'm going to just do a little bit more to the background here. These colors are pretty translucent. So if you're going to do something like that, you have to make sure that either the painting's very dry or you have clean white, because these little orange colors reminds me of cuckoo berries. Remember that song, John?
Cuckoo, yeah.
Cuckoo berry sits in the old gum tree. Laugh, cuckoo berry. Do you remember that? Did you sing that at camp? No, probably not in the Boy Scouts, did you?
No.
Yeah.
That's not one I can say that we sang.
Yeah. This is what makes it sort of fun to me. Now in my photograph, these are kind of yellow-orange. That's all right. But I kind of like them.
Has Ginger tried painting pointillism paintings in her early career?
That was never my thing. We have a Eiffel Tower that's pointillism.
Yep.
On YouTube, if you want to look at that.
That's it.
Then that's really nice too. It came out great, didn't it?
It did. It just takes forever.
Now you see how this transforms and these go together?
Once again, you've done the magic.
And it doesn't, I know it doesn't, they need to have something, but they have to dry. So they're going to move this up here. What can we do to do this? Now, we got something like this, and we say, what can I take away and not ruin the effect? Well, from a design standpoint, since you're right, I was sort of making up the background for this bird, right? So from a design standpoint, it's very busy and cluttered. All right? So we're going to ask ourselves, what can we take away and not ruin the effect? Okay, so let's do that. So let's just say, for the sake of argument.
Are we arguing?
No, but just for the sake of discussion then, right?
Okay.
That I don't like this branch. It's had a chance to dry now, right? So I could come in here like this and lighten this up, maybe. Maybe have less stuff in here that's too busy. All right, so already it's a little better. All right, so we've got a little better shaped tree. And I like this background up here. That's too dark, so let's try something else. All right, so you got something that's too dark. So what do? Just take that off. Don't fool with it. Just get rid of it. Okay? Now, you might have to rinse your brush. Okay? Then I'm going to say, okay, so I'm going to rinse. I want something a little bit lighter in here. Maybe a little bit lighter than that. Maybe I'll just take that, just smudge that off too. All right, that's better. Okay, so that's not quite so busy. Okay. And I need something a little bit lighter under this bird. Maybe I need it bluer. Okay, so that's better. And I don't like that, so that was just sort of a, let's just take those out. We'll put that, we can do better than that.
We're better than that. Come on.
So I think what happens is, though, that you get the feeling that somehow, once you get a painting done, and what's the worst that can happen? It just doesn't come out, right? That's got to be okay. Because sometimes they don't, you know. That you can pretty much do anything if you dry it, but
In other words, they're not all works of masterpieces.
they don't have to be. They don't have to be. But then, you know, sometimes when you're doing something, you learn what not to do. That's got to be all right too, right?
Okay. It's part of the learning process, absolutely.
You know, so if you're so already I like the background better. And that's all. We haven't finished the bird, but already I like this background much better.
Much improved.
Yeah, I do. I like it better, and so maybe I would put in something. You know, let's see what do we know for sure? We know that there's a lighter. You know, if a branch has got, there's usually something light on top of it. You know, if there's a dark side of the branch, there's a lighter side too. Yeah. So there might be something here. Again, we haven't.
How do you frame a single sheet canvas like this?
What's that?
How do you frame something like this?
You mount it. I actually have a video on how to do that on YouTube on how to do that, and you just you glue it on like foam core, and
slap it into a frame.
We'll say that this is a okay. So there's a you know, kind of branchy thing here.
Little branch going back into the depth.
Right? And maybe this particular maybe there's some sort of blossoms that are living on this one. There could be, right? Something could be here.
Absolutely. A little flower or something.
Yeah, a little flower. Maybe there's some flowers that are coming down like this. I don't know. This is where it gets to be kind of fun, you know. I mean, so what would happen if I do this? You know, that you got a hair dryer, you can just take all this out, you know, right? Absolutely, yes. So I'm thinking that this bird here needs a little something. So I'm going to make it a little bit bigger here like that and bring this tail all the way down. Say here's something darker here, some more contrast. All right, because I think I would like that better. And I don't like where the eye is, so we're just going to take the eye out and put it somewhere else. Okay, and I'm not...
It's just doesn't sound nice.
I'm going to put his beak this way. Okay. So already he's improved, just doing that, yeah? Let's see, what can we do here? Can we do, now there's the trick. Can you do anything, well, with this dark blue? This dark blue is very dry, I mean very wet. It's not dry at all. So can't do too much more to that in that, you know, you've got, you can do a little bit maybe with this. But in other words, I'm not drying anything, so I have to be kind of a little bit carefuler. There you go. A little bit more color up in his face. How about some brighter reds on his chest here? Okay, that was nice. How about some bright yellows? Can I get any of that going here? Okay. And then can I do any, and this is still, everything's still wet. Can I get anything with the whites? With a thin brush like this. You saw me use a Posca pen before, but I don't really need to. A brush like this. This is a wonderful dagger brush. You can do so much with one of these. If you don't have one, you know, ask for one for Christmas or holidays, or your birthday, or next time your kids say, what can I get? Never know what to get mom. Well, or dad. Try one of these brushes. Okay. So then we're going to take this, and I'm going to put the eye right here. Back a little further than I had it. Okay. Now he's going to just sit there for a minute. And let's finish these guys. And I think they're dry. One thing I wanted to be able to show you Let's see. I think they're dry. This is my second coat. I come back and do it again. That's what the paint-a-thon is. It just takes these taking a little while longer to paint. We're a little bit longer than normal, aren't we?
You're only at $1.50 right now, so you're really not much longer than a normal show. And you did 2 of them. You did 3 of them.
Yeah, it's true. It's true, I did.
I say let's see if you can do 4 of them.
Yeah, okay, so let's...
Maybe next week.
Okay. Okay, there's that little bird. Now let's get some burnt sienna. You don't have to have a dot in all of them, but a few it doesn't hurt. Just want it on the tip. That's where you need your glasses. All right. If you want to mix some gray, just put a couple of colors together and you got white. Use complements together. Or you could just use black and white and make it gray too. I want a little bit of a gray color here for his feet. So basically, let's see, what can I show you? Let's see, where's it? Dazzling purple is your brightest purple, and I didn't use it because it's oftentimes has a glare. But if you take dazzling purple and white, you can't get, and make sure you don't have any yellow in it in your.
That'd be disastrous.
Yeah, that'll kill it. But because yellow is the complement of purple. But for instance, dazzling purple and white is a very, very bright purple. That's about as bright as you get. So, for instance, if I wanted something really bright on this one, or lighter, say, here, I might use a little dazzling. Does that make sense? on that bird, particularly because purple and yellow are complements. Okay, and the other thing is that sometimes you can just go through your paints, you know, see which ones you got. Do you have any odd little colors that are bright and neat that you haven't thought about for a while? Like, for instance, what do we got here? Well, here's a color called luminous yellow, right? And you see how bright that is? It's almost like a safety yellow for a crosswalk. But look what that did. Just a little bit of that on that bird. Maybe a little bit here. You can just...
Straight from the tube.
Just, you don't need a lot. But your bird family, let's do a little bit over here too on this one. Okay, your bird family is in flowers. Sometimes you can just do some pretty bright colors, and it's pretty nice. So don't, you know, that's where you might go through and say, well, I bought that. I wonder what on earth I'm going to do with it.
What is your favorite extra brown color?
Well, of course, burnt umber and...
Those aren't extra. Do you remember your extra one?
Yeah, this is called...
It's that funny name brown.
Yeah, here's luminous orange.
Oh, pulling out all the stops, huh?
This one and maybe here, too. Just a bit brighter on that bird than you'd think, right? Not putting it everywhere. See how I popped that color out, and you can... I mean, you're talking drops of this. You're talking about not much of anything, but it's a small stuff. I could have used the luminous rose too. Would have been another one maybe that I might have wanted to do.
Did you have a favorite purple that doesn't have a glare?
Yeah, I'm finding that the purple that doesn't glare is if you take magenta and ultramarine blue, you can make a beautiful purple, and it doesn't glare. The other one that Holbein makes is something called mauve.
Is that pretty blue?
Here's a luminous rose. So I'll show you that one. I think it's dried up though. I don't know if I can get any out of this one now. I think this one's gone.
I'd like to thank Carol for the donation that came in through the Super Chat. At one point, you call your paintings a hot mess, but they always turns out just to be hot. Thank you for sharing your time and talent with us.
Thank you very much.
It's not Van Dyke Brown. It begins with an I. Here, let me just copy and paste it because I can't say this word. It's one of those English words that has way too many letters in it. It's a translucent one. We've used it a couple times and it's pretty. That one there.
Yeah,
Thank you very much, Carol, for the kind words.
Yeah, appreciate it, you guys, because we just, you can see it's easy to...
create a hot mess.
Yeah, I mean, you have that's the, you know, you'll have what, I don't know, I guess I want to call it artistic vision, right? And, you know, and that's fun. I love, for instance, if you look at this one, the one that we're going to be doing a drawing for, is that if you look at that, we've got, we've got some beautiful soft colors in the background, don't we? But that still goes, right? This picture still goes.
Who are you showing that to? You can see the screen.
Oh, sorry, John. I wasn't looking at the screen. I was looking up at my monitor. So you can see what I mean?
Look at my monitor.
See how this goes too?
Yeah.
So you know, they all work.
So who wins says they better be buying the set. What colors did Ginger say makes that beautiful purple as rattling the dishes? No rattling dishes during showtime.
Ultramarine blue and
Magenta.
and magenta make a beautiful, beautiful.
It's an absolutely gorgeous color.
Really, really nice color. And I said I wanted some of this light up here on his head. Okay. And I keep looking around for, fun colors. But can you back it up for a minute? I want to show him some stuff before I finish this off.
Does that little guy have, does the 6x8 have feet?
What?
Does the 6x8 have feet?
I'm starting to put them on, but they were still wet.
Okay.
So, let's see, Luminous Rose. So sorry, you're gone. All right, so if you remember, one of our favorite tutorials this year for our viewers has been the Max Brackenbach, and he did he was a botanist in the 1800s, and he did florals. And the Academy has a new floral coming up. It's going to be released tomorrow. That is our floral for that, and that's 12 by 16, 18 by 24. 12 by 16.
It looks like 14 by 18.
14 by 18. There you go. 14 by 18. Anyway,
that's one of those.
It's one of those, right? It'll be other ones. So that's the newest one we have in the Academy. I wanted to show you that, and then you guys always want to know we're designing stuff every day. We've got stuff clear up through December of stuff that we're painting, and this one is a 16 by 20. And some of you remember that Mary Cassette was one of the few artists that is remembered as an impressionist that was female. There was another one, but Mary kind of hung out with the guys, and she was allowed to paint babies and children, and she did a couple still lifes. We have one of hers, Two Women by River, in our Academy website. This is one I have redone. I did it originally about 7 years ago, real small, and this is her lilacs in the window. And that will be a tutorial coming up in the Academy soon, too. So these are all some fun things that are coming up that I think you would be...
There's a 16 by 20 there.
That's a 16 by 20, yeah. In the window. And I just felt that this was a painting that really deserved to be larger, and wanted to honor her. And that was a neat thing that we have done. Yes and yes. And let's see, I'm looking for one more silly color. Whoops, I just fell down. You'll have to rescue me. One more silly color. Where's it? I don't know. This came somewhere. Somebody gave me this color, and I liked it. So, well, it's really the color of the background, but there you go. I was
going to say, it's the color you've already created.
We've already created that, but somebody gave it to me. I thought I'd use it, but again, what was this? This was a...
Tropical green.
Tropical green, but you see, look how we made that ourselves, so isn't that fun when you could do it yourself? And here's I think a phthalo blue would, with a little phthalo green would be brighter. I wanted something real bright there, but.
And that's a little gray.
There you go. And let's see, I was going to still put that on. So let's go ahead, John, and
draw something.
Yeah, let's do a drawing.
Draw a rabbit.
Yeah.
Rabbit on my hat.
We're going to I'll sign this, and we'll get ready to do a drawing on this. Though I will say that if you're talking about from a design standpoint, I do like the fact that the birds in the small pictures are larger. I like that, the fact they're bigger, but you may not. And let's see, you need to be, where's my... I'm going to put the eye in again on this one. I'm going to sign it.
All right, last chance to get an entree in. I'm picking the numbers.
I'm going to go ahead and sign it. The first.
And what's the first thing we're picking for? My queenness?
Just a second, I'm signing. And I haven't sent it because I still have to put the black dot in there, but that hadn't come out quite as well as I wanted it. So I wanted to be sure I fixed that before we got too far along in our stuff. And again, I wanted to have something a little bit brighter on this one too.
129.
Okay. And let's see, you're right. I had to put some feet on him, right? Everybody said that.
Well, I couldn't tell if he had him just tucked under or what he was doing.
No, he had some. I just hadn't gotten them in.
Well, I saw the beginnings of them, I guess.
Yeah, you did. You saw the beginnings of a foot. Oh, that ran, didn't it?
The eyeball?
Yeah, that ran. I don't know what happened. They have to do. Well, say that's a good thing. I love it when stuff like that happens because people say, "Well, then what do you do?" Well, you just come in here, make it a little smaller. Come in with the black and go right in the center.
What are the cotton canvas sheets that Ginger uses?
These are called
Paramount.
Paramount.
Paramount by Jerry's Artorama. Genuine canvas sheets, 6x8s.
Yeah. Yeah.
What am I drawing for first, Queenie?
All right. So we have the let's just draw for the bird, for the painting, and then we're going to draw for the downloadable lesson.
Okay, so the bird's up first.
I just want my.
That's going to be for the 6x8 birdie.
6x8 birdie. Thank you all for hanging in there. Sorry we lost some of the feed today. We just don't have any control over that, and always wish it was, things were better. Okay. I'm just gonna, you guys, hang on a second. I'm just gonna do this one again because I wasn't happy with the way that worked. And just try one more time for the dot in the eye in the center. Should wait till this is dry, but I think if we can, I'll fix it before. There we go. Yeah, that's it. Yes and yes.
Winner of the 6x8 bird painting is Lisa Beakley.
Oh, congratulations, Lisa. That's awesome. And that is so cool. I love
Lisa, if you're out there, use to contact us at acrylicpaintingwithgingercook.com with your mailing address.
Yes.
Please and thank you.
Awesome, awesome, awesome. And I hope there we go. So that looks. I think that looks pretty cool. Don't you guys think so? Here, let's just take this away and stick it right there like that. There. That's our bird painting that somebody just won. And I hope you can have fun painting these. And let's move this out of the way now. And I just wanted to show you these final two. See how nice they look when they're. Here, let's just put them on our stuff.
Nice
See,
clean
we've painted them over the sides. You see like that? See, everything's got painted over the edge, which is kind of neat. And then they all got connected here. See, so that's
connected
quite cool.
but not.
And we connected all of that, right? So we could play with this for a long time, but who's our next person? Who's won our downloadable lesson, John?
Well, which downloadable are you doing? The Waving Water we have up?
What Waving Water?
The one that's in the Gazette.
Oh, the Waving Water in the Gazette? No. Was that the... Oh, yeah, the Waving Water that's in the Gazette. Yeah, that one. Yes and yes.
Well,
Yes.
the downloadable lesson is Chad Tipton. So, Chad, if you're still out there, please use the contact us, and we will set you up.
Did you finish showing all the...
I had two left.
You didn't finish showing everybody's?
I have two left.
Well, as we, do you want to just, as we sign off here, do you want to just show those? Or should we wait till next week to show you some more?
Well, no, we might want to show somebody if they did the birds.
Yeah, so all right. So if you...
So right now we have Jolene's up there.
Okay.
Again, this is from the Lotus.
Journaling, yeah.
And then nice background on that one too.
And then, yeah, this was all done from our sponge painting from last...
our SpongeBob painting.
The sponge painting from that we showed you from last week. A lot of you did that. We wanted to just give a quick brag. And then here's another one where someone...
And the last one we have tonight is Margie.
So congratulations, you guys.
Thank you for doing our paintings. We love sharing them. Love to see how you guys are doing, seeing your interpretations.
Yeah, I'd love to see how, and people always ask, does anybody get this? I think you're all getting it. So see you next week on the next Bird Sit-a-thon. And hope you had fun with this. We'll do 2 more. And can't wait to hear your comments about tonight's show and whether it worked for you.
Thanks, everybody. See you next week.
Bye.
Bye. Ginger Cook, the queen of color, with a blazing brush at the speed of light, and a blank canvas, and a hearty yes and yes. The queen of color, Ginger Cook, and her sidekick, John Little, teach you to paint with acrylics.